Hello, dear heart. This is Nanaya from Love and Freedom Life Strategies. I'm a health and life coach. This is part 2 of a look at Psalm 23 from the perspective of a shepherd, relying heavily on the learning and the insights of Philip Keller, who was a shepherd himself and grew up in an East African context, which is very much like that of a Middle Eastern context when it comes to shepherding. Let's look at He makes me lie down in green pastures. A very curious thing about sheep that I hadn't known before I came in contact with Philip Keller's work was that sheep will not lay down unless they are free of 4 things: free of any fear, free of any relational tension. They have quite an interesting structure and hierarchy among the herd. So free of any relational tension, free of pests or parasites or annoyances, and free from the need for food. So free of hunger, or free of the fear that they're not going to have that need met, their basic needs met. Keller notes how significant it is that for sheep to be at rest, they must be free of fear, tension, aggravation, and hunger. And that the unique aspect of the picture is that it's only the sheep herder themselves. So in his case, he's saying only the shepherd himself who can provide release from these anxieties. It all depends on the diligence of the owner, whether or not his flock is free of disturbing influences. David, who wrote Psalm 23, says, "You make me lie down in green pastures." Keller tells about a time that his flock of 200 sheep stampeded when a friend's little Pekingese pup jumped out of her car and started barking, let alone when there were wild animals or other threats. And he says that over time he realized that there was nothing like his presence among the sheep to keep them calm and to help them be at peace. The presence of their master and owner and protector put them at ease as nothing else could. And this applied day and night, he says. He goes on to talk about the pecking order in a flock and how some power-hungry sheep would bully and intimidate the younger ones or the weaker ones. And because of this, those sheep could not be at rest. They would not lay still. They would not graze peacefully. And this was really detrimental to their health. These sheep would become edgy and tense. They would lose weight. They couldn't sleep properly. They'd become irritable because of this continuous conflict and jealousy. And again, he says the antidote to this was his presence out in the field among the flock. The moment that he entered the scene and the sheep saw that he was there, they stopped this bullying, disruptive behavior. As soon as the sheep became aware of his presence, they would stop their bullying and rivalries. Freedom from the torment of parasites and insects is also essential to the peace and the well-being of sheep. And Keller noted that in order for a good shepherd to take care of this, it took considerable time, effort, expense to make sure that the sheep were treated properly. It also took such attentive care. The shepherd must always be on top of it, always surveying his sheep for the very first sign of an insect or a parasite that could be harmful and tormenting to them, and take care of it immediately. Thoughtful, compassionate, constant, watchful care. And lastly, freedom from hunger, freedom from the fear that their physical needs were not going to be met, was another essential ingredient to sheep being able to be at rest, to lie down. He makes me lie down in green pastures. What most of us don't really understand is that in the Middle East, where sheep were herded, and in many parts of Africa, it's actually quite arid. It's quite dry, not a whole lot of rain. And so for a shepherd to create green pasture took a lot of work and effort and thoughtfulness. The area around Bethlehem where David would have herded his sheep is quite a dry, sunburnt place. Green pastures didn't just happen on their own. Green pastures didn't happen by chance. They were the result of tremendous time, labor, and skill in land use. Keller talks of how much time he took to take worn out fields and make them flourishing fields, and how his sheep ended up flourishing in the process. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. David, the shepherd, and Keller, the shepherd, are speaking about how their experience shepherding sheep has taught them about the loving, tender care of the creator of the universe. Whether or not you like being compared to a sheep, this is something we can learn about the character of the one who made us and watches over us. Thank you for being with me today. I hope this is a deep blessing to you. Let's continue to learn and grow and practice together. Peace to you.